Welcome back, everyone, to Frontlines and Faultlines with Mike Kelly. We've got the great opportunity to continue our conversation with Wassane Zailachi, the Moroccan ambassador, who's had such a breadth of experience in her career. We have had such an opportunity to engage here with Wassane in Australia, which we haven't taken full advantage of. I have to be really pointed about that comment, and I think our current government could do more to reach out to engage Wassane and engage with Morocco and Africa more generally. It actually shocked me in my dealings in Africa, in Ethiopia and Somalia, etc., and at an AU conference and issues that I dealt with in Kenya, that we had so few posts in Africa, and our high commissioners and ambassadors are accredited to so many different countries that they often don't get to all of them properly in the whole time that they're in their postings. So this has got to change. There are a lot of potential interests for Australia in Africa, and Morocco can be a wonderful gateway and bridge for that. So I'm putting you all on notice out there, Australian government, sit up and pay attention. So so to come back to the conversation, and we now get into this, like the geopolitical challenges, and you touched briefly on the Middle East and the general policy approach that Morocco has to, the one sort of media standout cause there. But, I think it's people have begun to be educated at the sort of malign influence that Iran has had, that their foreign policy was about promoting an extreme form of revolution, and that it was, and they talk about their Vilayet proxies, that these are people who are going to accept the concept of the supreme leader in Iran as the precursor to the 12th Imam, and you need to subject yourself to his directions and his control, and setting up a lot of really sharp-edged confrontations with Sunni countries in the region that have been deeply concerned about it. And I knew this well when I had the Middle East Desk and Strategy Group in Defence, managing our relationship with our basing states, and that they would always come to me with concerns about Iran. That was what they were worried about, not Israel, it was Iran. And you have also been, I guess, on the receiving end of some Iranian influence in relation to Polisario in Western Sahara. So please take some time to talk us through what Western Sahara is about and what the challenges are and where things sit today about potentially achieving a peaceful settlement of that situation.
Well, just to summarize a little bit, because it would be too long to go back on the historical part, but the Sahara issue goes back to when the Spaniards withdrew from it. And in an agreement, Morocco was to take over, because we have, historically, it was demonstrated that there was allegiance to the Sultan of Morocco.
And what year was that Spain withdrew?
1973.
Right.
Morocco took over what we call the Green March, where 350,000 Moroccans walked into that territory, only with the Quran in their hand, nothing else. And since then, there were some countries that were not happy with it, and who wanted access to the Atlantic also, because they had only access to the Mediterranean, and they wanted access to the Atlantic. So they supported a militia. So they host them, they train them, and they finance them. And it's been going on. It's going to be 50 years in this November since this conflict has been going on. Going back to Iran, the problem with Iran is that we cut all diplomatic relations with Iran in 2018 because Iran has been flirting with these people, with this militia, of course, with the help of the host country, and coming to an area. We have to keep in mind also that we are surrounded. There's a Sahel region We go back to security issues. We go
Boko Haram and all
Boko
these,
Haram. We're
groups.
going into human trafficking, drug trafficking. So terrorists. And so we cut all diplomatic relations with Iran because they were interfering in our domestic issues and seeking to divide Morocco. That's our story with Iran.
Were they providing weapons to the Polisario?
Training also, yes, they would send trainers to their camps
So like
to train.
IRGC and Al
Yes,
Quds,
to train them. Yes, they provided them with weapons also. So yes, absolutely.
Right. Do you know if there's any link between, or has been any link between Iran and Boko Haram?
I'm not sure. I cannot say, but when we're talking about terrorism, there's always a connection somewhere.
Yes, they like to share ideas, don't
Exactly. So it's the same objective. So Morocco has occupied. We have taken. Since we took over the territory, the Green March. And in 1975, and we have been building and investing in that territory, investing tremendously.
Right. And when was it that you severed relations with Iran? When was that?
It was the last one was in 2018.
Right.
That was the last time.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So, and still.
It still is. Yes. It still is. Yes.
I think Australia is one of the few countries that still has an embassy there from the civilized world. So so that's disturbing that has been going on and that promoting that sort of resolution of issues through terrorism.
And also, we are a Sunni country. We are progressive. We are moderate. And of course, their approach and their vision of Islam differs, yes, very much from our practice of Islam.
I remember when I was at the headquarters of our 1st Division up in Brisbane, and we were training personnel to go to a peacekeeping force in the Western Sahara. That was when I first became sort of familiar with the issues there, but it doesn't seem to have advanced, and that would have been in 1989, 90, somewhere around then, maybe 91.
Well, before 91, because we were constantly attacked by those militia from next door, we built a wall to protect our territory.
Right.
And then there was a ceasefire in 91, but they have not respected it.
Right.
And another thing I need to add also is when Bashar fled Syria, they found hundreds of militias in Syria, training in Syria.
From Western Sahara as well. Right.
No, just those who fled, not the ones in Morocco. Those there are no problems there.
Okay.
But they took them from the camps in the neighboring country, and they went to Syria to fight with Assad.
Right.
So now the neighboring country has requested to take them back, but the new government in Syria said no, that they will have to be undergo trial first.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Yeah, what a terrible breeding ground Syria was for ISIS, and Hezbollah were in there at one point trying to save Assad.
And Morocco has just announced that we will be reopening our embassy in Syria after decades.
Right.
So that is good. But I think regarding the Sahara issue, I think what's important to focus on is the evolution, how this issue has evolved. And now we have 30 countries that have consulates in the Sahara.
Right.
We have 3 permanent Security Council members that recognize the Moroccan sovereignty over that land.
Right.
We have more than 120 countries that align with the Moroccan autonomy initiative.
Right.
So you can, it's unfolding in front of us that that things are in our favor, that people, it was an ideological issue, and that it was at a time when people, especially in Africa, where ideology was a big thing, that now the world has changed. People are learning more about it. They're seeing that there were a lot of lies, and that the truth was never exposed. And there's not just this year, we had 4 countries that have Kenya, you have Ghana, you have Panama, you have Ecuador, just recently, that have that withdrew their recognition of this entity.
Right.
So,
and who are the 3 of the permanent members of the Security Council who stepped forward on this?
we have the United States, we have France,
Yep.
and we have the UK.
Right.
So,
So it's just China and Russia.
well, yes,
haven't.
but
That tells you something.
well, yes, but I think that the momentum is there. Things have to move forward, and it's just a question of time.
Right.
But when you have more than 120 countries that align with the Moroccan initiative, and we have tremendous investments that are being done in the South. Tremendous.
Right.
A lot of investment. Because people, when they visit that region, they're mind-boggled by the development, by the infrastructure, by the projects. Now we're building the largest port on the Atlantic is in the south of Morocco. So we have the largest on the Mediterranean, and we're constructing the largest on the Atlantic.
Right.
So,
So what's the basis of the economy of Western Sahara? Is there oil there? Is it a fishing industry? Is it agriculture?
well, there's
tourism?
fish. There's fish because there's a coastline.
Sea?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a coastline.
Yep.
But of course, there's agriculture. There are a lot of renewables also.
Right.
A lot. Morocco has one of the largest solar plants in the world.
Right.
We have a lot of wind farms, also the largest wind farm in Africa.
Right.
So fisheries also, of course, because of the coastline. There's a little phosphate, but very little. The main one, I think it's less than 2%. But the main resources are in northern Morocco. So to give the excuse that we took it because of that is unfounded.
And what about ethnicity, in that area? What sort of, what are the ethnic origins of the people there that...
Well, it's a mixture, but what's wonderful about Morocco is that all of us are a mixture.
Right, yes, that's true.
You see, you have the Berbers. We have
Yes.
3 types of Berbers. So you have the
Yes.
Berbers, you have the Arabs, you have those that are from African origin that came and settled in Morocco a long time ago. We have the Jews. We have the Hassani, from the desert areas.
Right.
Hassani. So they are also part of this, mixture. But we have, and it's the same for the languages also. When you go to Morocco, you see in the road signs, you have the Arabic, you have the Berber, and the Latin.
Right, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a rich wheelbase that we have going on there.
Yeah.
So the way forward, right? We've had, obviously a stalled process that the Australian troops were going to deploy to in the peacekeeping in the early 90s. Has Morocco got a plan on the table for how this might be resolved? Is it simply just a question of, hey, world, just recognize the reality of the situation, or is there a mechanism that might facilitate this, such as moving to a kind of a federal arrangement with a sort of some degree of regional autonomy, or is that just not necessary?
Well, first of all, Morocco is divided into 12 regions, and the southern part being one of them. In 2007, Morocco presented to the UN an autonomy plan. As you said, the federal type. And that's the basis that has been being discussed at the UN. Is the to find a solution based on the Moroccan autonomy plan. That's the only way that it can be viable. Giving each region its autonomy, because each region has its specificities. And of course, when we're talking about the flag, the army, and the currency, it's Moroccan sovereignty. But yes, that's our that is our proposal that's on the table right now. I just need to add one thing. Just last month, Congressman Joe Wilson, he presented a bill in Congress to have the Polisario being identified as a terrorist organization. And I think such a decision is not something that is done in a very light manner. That goes to show that there is proof, there's evidence to show that these people are dangerous.
Including they still have a connection with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, etc. Yes. So what, if you're able to comment, what do you think the Australian position should be? What steps, is there something Australia could be helping here, or is there just a diplomatic position that you recommend for them, or have you tried to engage with Australia?
Well, one thing that is for sure is that Australia does not recognize this entity. But in my discussions with my Australian counterparts, I tell them what I would wish to see from Australia is just to align itself with the recent developments, because Australia's position is outdated. It's more than 2 decades old. So I think, like many other countries have done, I would like to see Australia realign or update its position in view of all the developments that have taken place.
What's the Australian position at the moment?
Well, it's that
it doesn't have one. It's a position.
No. It's not that it doesn't have one, but they say that they believe that there should be a referendum, and but the problem with the referendum is that the UNHCR was not allowed to enter the camps to do the census.
Okay.
So where can you start? And even the referendum is no longer mentioned in any of the resolutions, UN resolutions. So I would like to see Australia just to, update its position in view of all the latest developments.
Yes. Okay. Well, at least sort of put it on the radar and have some engagement, to understand how things have evolved. But
and I think another thing also is that Australia being so far away, of course, it's not an issue that you would hear of often or at all, I would say. So anybody can come and make up any story. And of course, they would be believed.
Lack of knowledge is an easy, fertile ground for misinformation.
Absolutely. Yes. So we are open to discussion. We have always reached out, and also in my capacity as ambassador, and every time I have the opportunity, I try to bring awareness to this issue so people can understand the ramifications behind it. And I believe that what's good about Australia also, it's this being rational in the approach. And I think when you speak to people and you explain to them, and it makes sense, they get it. I mean, there have been MPs that that were completely aligned with the Polisario position, and then when they listened to the other version, when they visited Morocco, when they visited the territory, when they saw how it was developing, you can no longer discuss this issue with them because they saw. But here they tell them that they cannot go to that territory. They tell them that there are human rights issues. They tell them, whereas we have opponents with Moroccan passports who live in that territory.
Right.
So they're free to do so. Whereas those that are in the camps, they cannot leave the camps.
Right.
They cannot express themselves. They cannot tell what make their choice. They cannot.
Right.
They are prisoners. And another thing, the longest prisoners in history of the world were those Moroccan prisoners who were imprisoned by the Polisario.
Right. How long has that been?
More than 20 years.
Right.
More than 20 years.
Right.
They were POWs.
Okay. Right.
More than 20 years.
That's a terrible state for those people involved.
So I think now it is evident that we are heading towards our option, because what we want is a credible political solution to this dispute.
Well, one would hope so. I mean, we'd all love to see that resolved. It's been such a long burning thing.
And the only countries that support the Polisario in the whole Asia, Southeast Asia region, is North Korea and Timor-Leste.
Right. Very weird. I'd have to have a chat with my Timor-Leste colleagues to understand why that's the case.
So,
well, let's thank you so much for helping us understand that. And obviously, we need to see that information out there, but we need to see the Australian government taking a bit of an interest, I think, in having a conversation to understand and reassess perhaps where they're at. And
that's what I hope to see. Yes, I really hope that Australia can review the situation and its position, and just to update it and align it with the current situation.
Right. Well, thank you for helping us understand that.
Thank you.
And just, I guess, to finish off, it's been running sore at the moment, war in the Middle East. And I've been obviously a keen student in my military sort of start point on things of course, the Australian experience in the Middle East through the Western Desert campaigns and Syria and Lebanon, etc. in World War II. And we were there, of course, in World War I as well. And a lot of my family served in both First World War and Second World War in Africa and the Middle East. And one of the things that really struck me when I read about this and do research is that interestingly, people sort of felt that with Rommel and the Africa Corps that there was no issue posed for Jews in North Africa, but there in fact was, and there was some attempts by the Vichy to just support Nazi policies in that respect. So it wasn't that the Jews escaped this, even though the SS weren't in North Africa. But interestingly, standing out and shining out from all of that was the approach of the Moroccan king at the time and Morocco in that respect. And he had something to say about Moroccan Jews and didn't cooperate with the Nazis in that respect, even though it came under pressure. Can you tell that story?
Yes, and the Vichy regime came to our King Mohammed V and asked him to deliver the Jews to them. And he told them, I don't have any Jews. I have only Moroccan subjects. I have nobody to deliver to you. Right. And I think that the Jewish community that was living in Morocco at the time never forgot it, and up till today, they have not forgotten those that are still living in Morocco, those who have left, who are in maybe in Israel or all over the world. There are some even here.
Yes.
And it's engraved in their memory that he protected them as Moroccan subjects.
Yeah, it's a fine example of what leadership can look like and what it can achieve. So congratulations on the national stand in that respect. And I guess, in the context of this current conflict, we've talked about, everyone talks about the day after, and we haven't seen a lot of strategic planning revealed, at least to the public, about how that could be managed and what kind of security presence could exist there. And I when I was working in strategy group, the other thing I did was try to assist the Palestinian Authority to build its security sector by getting Australian Army personnel deployed for that purpose. And then all of that work the international community were doing at the time to stand up a civil service and all of our sinews of a state were all completely made nugatory and wasted effort, in fact, because during that civil war that Hamas fought with Fatah and Hamas took over the territory, all 40,000 of those police and public servants were dismissed from their positions. And even to this day, the Palestinian Authority has still been paying these public servants who remained idle, and it consumes about a third of the Palestinian Authority's budget. So there has to be a new way going forward where, the construction effort that needs to happen and the funds that will be needed for that has to be managed in an efficacious way that doesn't end up in underground tunnels, etc., or water pipes being dug up to be turned into rockets, and corruption, which I know Gazans, through a survey the Arab Monitor Group did, were really concerned about corruption by Hamas. They hoped for better from a group they thought was going to be, ideologically and religiously motivated, and turned out not to be the case. So, would Morocco, for example, be interested in getting involved in that conversation about, how security might be delivered? Do you think there's a possibility of a coalition of the willing amongst certain Arab states that might be prepared to put a security presence on the ground? Or
Morocco has always advocated for a two-state solution. I think neither the Palestinians nor the Israelis could they live in peace if we don't reach that decision first.
Agreed.
Of course, there are many, many challenges that need to be addressed. And when we see the situation in Gaza now and what's happening every day, I don't think any human being would accept to see so
we'd all
much.
love to see it come to an end.
Yes, absolutely. And I think Morocco has a tradition in the peacekeeping forces. It has played a long role within the UN and peacekeeping all over, and especially in Africa. It dates back. Yes, and we still have them today.
Yes, they were there in Somalia.
Yes, we still have them today. And I believe that if that could bring not peace, but at least calm the situation to be able to move forward. Yes, as a transition. It's not my decision, but I would believe that Morocco would like to play a positive role.
Right.
Yes,
because you've served such a similar role in being that gateway and mechanism for dialogue and alliance of civilizations.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, in many African countries also.
So it could be something we should be looking to see Morocco playing a significant part in, at least fostering the conversations and the dialogue.
Well, I believe that anywhere where we can bring a positive contribution, especially in in a crisis like this that has been going on, a conflict that has been going on for
too many years.
Yes, and I think that everyone needs to live
Do
in
what we
peace.
can.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, look, thank you so much, Wassane, for this
Thank you.
conversation. Hopefully, before you leave these shores, we'll probably talk to you again or try to.
Yes.
And thank you so much for your civilized and intelligent approach to all these issues, and what you bring to your country's representation here has been tremendous. And so I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you. Well, I feel privileged because Morocco was Australia's last embassy to open in Africa.
Right.
So I think that by doing that, they saw that the potential and the type of partnership that we can have.
So the platform's there. We just need Australia to actually sit up and take notice and take advantage.
Morocco is ready.
Thank you so much, Wassane.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
No worries.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone, for joining in with us in this conversation. I know I learned a lot. I hope you did too. And this is the potential we see in this program and things we hope to achieve. So don't forget to subscribe and like to help us get the message out there and to put us on a sustainable footing. So thank you again, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers.